We have all been there before, rolling our eyes at the screaming baby on the airplane, or being jolted awake by birds chirping too loudly outside our window. But what if I told you those everyday sounds could just fade, or even disappear overnight? For me and millions of other individuals, this is so much more than just a hypothetical. After contracting COVID 19, I experienced sudden hearing loss that changed how I experience the world today. Today, I want to teach you about hearing loss in general, how COVID 19 can play a role, and why awareness matters so much for all of us. First, let's begin with the basics. Our ears are not just for listening. They are delicate systems that can convert vibrations into signals that our brains will understand. Sound waves that enter through the outer ear, travel through the ear canal, and vibrate the eardrum. Tiny bones in the middle of the ear that amplify the vibrations before they reach the cloaca, which is a spiral-shaped structure filled with fluid and hair cells. These hair cells act as messengers, sending electrical signals to the brain through the auditory nerve. Damage throughout any step in this process can cause hearing loss. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, approximately 15% of American adults aged 18 and over report at least some trouble hearing. This means that hearing loss is far more common than most people would recognize. Three main types of hearing loss. Conductive hearing loss, which is caused by problems in the middle or outer ear, like earwax buildups or infections, a very common cause. The second type, sensorineural hearing loss, which is caused by the damage to the inner ear or to that auditory nerve we mentioned earlier. This is usually permanent and irreversible. And finally, the third is a combination of the two we just mentioned, known as mixed hearing loss. Most cases of hearing loss, including mine, are sensorineural. Once the delicate hair cells in the cloaca have been damaged, they cannot grow back. Johns Hopkins Medicine explains sensorineural hearing loss occurs when there is damage to the inner ear or to the nerve pathways from the inner ear to the brain. Most of the time, it cannot be medically or surgically corrected. So, where does COVID 19 fit in? Although we think of COVID as a respiratory illness, research has shown that it can have multiple effects on the systems in the body, including the ear. Some patients, like myself, have experienced hearing loss during or after an infection of COVID 19. A study published in the International Journal of Audiology reported that there is evidence that COVID 19 has been associated with hearing loss, tinnitus, and balance disorders. This virus may damage the inner ear directly, or it may trigger an immune response that harms delicate auditory structures. To put it simply, COVID doesn't just make it harder to breathe, it also now can make it harder to hear. Living with hearing loss changes your day-to-day life. I now rely more on lip reading, captions, and my hearing aid to keep up with conversations. But with added awareness and support, we can make a huge difference. The World Health Organization emphasizes over 1.5 billion people globally live with some degree of hearing loss, and at least 430 million of them require rehabilitation services. Hearing loss is not rare, and with COVID 19 adding to these numbers, understanding the condition now matters more than ever. Forms of hearing loss can be prevented. There are some ways and steps that we can take to protect our hearing and support those who are affected. Simple actions, like lowering the volume on the headphones you wear, wearing ear protection in loud environments, and seeking medical attention quickly if sudden hearing changes occur, can all make a big difference. Additionally, technology and community support play a huge role, whether it be through hearing aids, cochlear implants, captioning services, and advocacy. Groups can help people with hearing loss stay connected. As the American Speech Language Hearing Association reminds us, early detection of intervention are key to better outcomes for individuals with hearing loss. By taking care of our own hearing and fostering inclusive spaces, we can help reduce the stigma and ensure that hearing loss doesn't mean losing your voice in a loud world. So, if you take anything away from what I said today, hearing is a delicate, powerful sense that many of us take for granted until it's just gone. Hearing loss can happen for many reasons, and in the age of COVID-19, it's become a more urgent concern than it has been ever. My experience is just one story among millions, but by learning how hearing aids work, what can go wrong, and how COVID contributes, we can be more compassionate, informed, and prepared. So the next time that you hear that annoying car horn or the early morning bird chirping outside your window, pause for a second and be grateful that you can hear that. Be grateful you can hear the sounds that I can't hear.